Aina. Aina is an economics student in International Islamic University Malaysia. One day, Aina was studying on topic related to tax. However,
What is this? I don't understand. Oh my god. I think I need to consult Madam Atira for this. Hi Kak, what are you doing?
Hi. I'm reading the news about Lara Alana. You know, the daughter of Awal Shari and Shah Al Yahya.
Oh yeah, why? Anything about her?
In this news, it stated that Lara had to pay her income tax.
What? But she's only 5.
Yes, it is true. Her parents had confirmed it that they opened the file for Lara since she's 1, as Lara has her own income.
I'm proud of her parents because they know the responsibility as a citizen to pay tax. While many people out there try to avoid paying tax, especially for celebrities.
That's why I don't understand why most of the rich people doesn't want to pay tax, even they have higher income. Supposedly, they have to contribute to the economy and help the poor people.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Hey, where are we?
I'm going to see my lecturer. I'm going to consult her, and then I have discussion after this.
Okay, take care.
Okay, bye.
Coming.
Can I see Madam Atira?
Yes, have a seat.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay, so Aina, what can I help you?
Madam, can you briefly explain about income tax? I don't understand.
Sure, Aina, but before that, in your opinion, what is the problem with the income tax?
I think it's the income inequality, Madam.
Okay, true. It is because the income inequality. In 1983, Malaysia has embarked on a new liberal economic policy which priced economic efficiency above all things. So under this policy, the government will be able to take a step back and allow free market economy that will control how wealth is distributed. Basically, this policy encouraged the rich to become more innovative and start businesses that can create jobs. This is where the sad story begins because we need a mechanism to distribute wealth because it can decrease the inequality while also boost the economic growth rate. But it is the problem of Malaysia because Malaysia did not have this mechanism, and we have various programs of government schemes such as BRIM, and yet we find that Malaysia's income distribution remains very insensitive. So people start to ask where the money is going. But based on some researchers, the education can help in catering this problem. This is because opportunities and skills for a student in rural area are limited compared to student in urban area.
Okay, Madam. Is there any intervention from government regarding this problem?
Yes, government have implement the minimum wage in 2012, so it give the positive effect on B40s people as their earning grow at a rate faster than average income level. However, while B40s were climbing the pay scale, the T20s also earn a great deal more for a longer time. In order to reach the equality, B40s pay should continue increasing for many years more in the future, and the government should try to decrease the education gap because education can be translated to skills, and skills can be translated to good job, and it will generate the high income people. So it is good way to improve income opportunities to everybody. Another way is government can increase the tax on the rich people. So I will not explain about this. Try to figure out with your friends and explain to me in the next class. Is okay?
Sure, Madam. Okay. Okay, thank you, Madam, for the explanation. After this, I have a discussion with my friends, so I will talk about this with. I will discuss about it with them. Thank you. Assalamualaikum guys. Sorry I'm late. Sayang. Sorry.
Okay.
Just now I met with Atira and then we discussed about income tax. She asked us to discuss whether government should increase tax for the rich or not. What you guys think about this?
Before that, I think that I need to show you guys about this because this one is related to our topic. Okay. Okay, for the individual income tax rate, the personal income tax rate in Malaysia is charged to resident individual taxpayer, which set up from 0% on the first 5,000 to a maximum of 28% for income surplus RM 1 million. Okay, as individuals' income increase, the tax rate also increases, which following the bracket of income that I have shown before to you guys. Okay, next for the progressive personal income tax system, it will boost economic growth and also reduce the income gap between the poor and the rich. Okay, next we proceed to the comparison of personal income tax between countries as at December 2018. Okay, it is between the United Kingdom, Italy, South Korea, Switzerland, United States, India and Malaysia. Thus, we can see from the graph that Malaysians have low personal income tax rates compared to the other country. It means the means for the household income for the T20 in Malaysia, which is only RM 16,088 ringgit, and this income does not reach the optimal tax rates for the rich, as the tax rate for them is only at 1%. Thus, to reach the optimal tax rate from 1% to 28%, they should earn more incomes for the government to impose higher tax on them. Thus, the government revenue will increase. Okay guys, that's all from me.
Wanisa, what's your opinion?
I think government should increase income tax for the rich because it can provide funds to pay national debt by interest rate manipulation. So government can stimulate economy, generate tax revenue, and ultimately reduce the national debt. Yeah, I think it is good if the government reduce the interest rate. It is because it will make people easy to borrow money. Yeah. Therefore, borrower will spend on goods and services, and that will create jobs and tax revenues.
But Wani, I have to disagree with your point because when government increase tax for the rich, it can act as disincentive for individuals and business to make money. So logically, when there is increase in tax, it will make business to alter their investment, spending, and tax behaviors in order to find ways to cut their tax expenditure. So it will lead to less revenue for the government.
Oh, it makes sense. Okay, furthermore, the rich people also will tend to immigrate to the other country which have the lower tax rates by taking with them all the potential revenue. Thus, it will lead to the government revenue to decrease because of their immigration. Okay, in addition, the government also should not impose the tax on the rich people. It is because they will earn their income from their hard work. Thus, what they earn is definitely belong to them and not to the government. That's my point.
Yes, I agree with you, Kila. But actually, tax is helping the poorer in terms of infrastructure and national defense. It does not affect much on them because their income will basically go to saving. In addition, tax is good when the economy is in a bad condition because the government will use the tax to pay the expenditure, as the government needs more money when there is a worse economic condition. So imposing higher tax to the rich is a good decision because they are able to pay higher tax actually.
Thanks, Aina, for your opinion. But I think we are in 2 versus 2 situation, which Wani and Aina think that agree that government should increase the tax for the rich, and Kila and I disagree that government should increase the tax for the rich. So I think that we must find another opinion or resource about this matter.
We do agree that some countries around the world have started thinking about taxing the super rich more. But we need to look at why they want to do that. And they want to do that because they are finding that they need more revenue to sustain the economy and for a welfare state. I mean, we are technically a developing nation, and I wouldn't call ourselves a welfare state. When you become a developed nation, the concept of giving welfare to all your citizens becomes important. So at this stage, the issue is really about reaching 2020 and slowly moving to a developed nation. And I think changing the tax rates to increase it upwards a little, even though it's a small amount or only for the high income, sends a little bit of a message to others, and they may think twice about investing. But I must point out that tax is just one of the many criteria used by multinationals, right? It's not the only criteria.
In Singapore, they had also raised the highest tax bracket to about 2%. So Malaysia is about 3%, which is not really out of the norm. And if you look at many developed countries, I think the rich are taxed a lot higher than Malaysia. So it's not going to lead to brain drain or whatever. But I think it's part of sharing the burden. And I think across the world, you talk about inequality and all that. So the rich have to do their part. There are other things that the government should also focus to make sure that the country do not have too wide a disparity. And I think one of the biggest issues that we see is that property prices have actually gone a lot higher. And how can the government help? Working with developers, working with their own institutions, working with the banks to come up with affordable housing. I think what will be very critical for foreign investments is what other people do and what is happening in the country. They would like ease of doing business as a priority. They would like certainty and the cost of doing business.
Speaking, Malaysia has quite a regressive tax regime, in a sense that apart from income tax, most taxes here are regressive, not progressive. And I think that's something that we need to look into. GST was regressive, admittedly, but you can't get away from getting rid of all regressive taxes. But I do think that there is a role to play in some more progressive taxes, especially when you look at perhaps later capital gains, some form of super wealth tax, tweaking the threshold on income taxes, because I think inequality is quite a big issue in Malaysia.
Sorry, just now you said that our tax system is regressive, it should be more progressive. Can you speak on the how? How to make it more progressive?
Well, there are many ways to make it more progressive. We, for instance, suggested that the income tax threshold for the highest income bracket should be increased. So they should pay the marginal tax rate, top marginal tax rate should be increased. So if you make more than 200,000 ringgit a month or make more than 500,000 ringgit a month, your income tax rate should be increased. That's one way of making the income tax more progressive. As well as other tax instruments like capital gains perhaps or wealth tax, but these have to be studied in more detail because, as was mentioned earlier in the panel, it can lead to capital flight, it can lead to people evading taxes. So that's something that the Tax Reform Committee at the Treasury needs to look into. But my main point is that Malaysia is still a very unequal society in terms of income and wealth, and you can use the fiscal tax system to try to be more progressive and address that.
This is the graph of Keynesian consumption function. The Keynesian consumption function shows consumption as a function of disposable income. The intercept gives the level of consumption corresponding to a zero level of disposable income. The slope of the consumption function is the marginal propensity to consume, or we know as MPC. The APC is greater than MPC by the amount of A over YD. It also follows from equation that the APC declines as income increases. The implication is that as income rises, households consume a smaller fraction of income, which is to say that they have a larger fraction of income. The ratio of saving to income is termed as average propensity to save, which is APS, and is equal to 1 minus APC.
Oh, many people, even economists and politicians, agree for the government to increase the tax for the rich people, as it gives more benefit to the country.